The story of Joseph. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Joseph. He lived with his father Jacob and his 11 brothers. Joseph was special to his father, who loved him very much and even gave him a beautiful, colorful robe. But this made his brothers jealous because they thought Joseph was the favorite. Joseph was different. He had dreams that seemed magical. One day he told his brothers, "I dreamed we were in the field tying bundles of grain. My bundle stood up, and yours bowed down to it." The brothers were angry and said, "So you think you're going to rule over us?" Joseph didn't understand why his brothers were so upset. To him, they were just dreams. Another time, he dreamed that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him. When he told this to his father and brothers, they were even more confused. Joseph's brothers worked in the field, taking care of the sheep. One day, Joseph went to bring them food, but the brothers already had an evil plan. When Joseph arrived, smiling, they grabbed him and took off his colorful robe. "Let's throw you into this pit," they said, and so they did. Joseph was left alone and scared at the bottom of the pit. Soon after, some merchants passed by on their way to Egypt. The brothers decided to sell Joseph as a slave. They took his robe, stained it with animal blood, and brought it to their father, saying, "Joseph was attacked by a wild animal." Jacob was very sad, thinking he would never see his son again. Joseph was taken to Egypt and sold to a man named Potiphar, who worked for Pharaoh. Joseph was so hardworking and honest that he soon became in charge of Potiphar's entire household. But Potiphar's wife told a lie about Joseph, and he was thrown into prison. Even in prison, Joseph continued to help people. There, he interpreted the dreams of 2 prisoners. One of them returned to work for Pharaoh, and Joseph asked, "Don't forget me." 2 years later, Pharaoh had 2 strange dreams. He dreamed of fat cows being eaten by skinny cows and beautiful ears of grain being destroyed by ugly ones. Pharaoh was worried, and no one could explain what the dreams meant. Then the prisoner Joseph had helped remembered him and said, "Your Majesty, I know someone who can help." Joseph was called and said, "God has shown me what they mean. There will be 7 years of plenty and 7 years of famine. You must store food during the good years, so the people won't starve in the bad years." Pharaoh was so impressed that he made Joseph second in command of all of Egypt. When the famine came, Joseph's brothers went to Egypt to buy food. They didn't recognize Joseph, who was now dressed like an important ruler. Joseph recognized his brothers, but decided to test them to see if they had changed. He asked them to bring Benjamin, the youngest brother, and even placed a silver cup in their bag to test their honesty. When he saw they were sorry for what they had done, Joseph couldn't hold back any longer and said, "I am Joseph, the brother you sold." The brothers were afraid, but Joseph said, "Don't be afraid. God turned all of this into something good. Now I can save our family." Joseph sent for Jacob and the whole family to live in Egypt, where there was food and safety. They hugged and cried with joy. Joseph showed that even when bad things happen, God can turn them into something good. And so, Joseph and his family lived happily in Egypt, proving that even in the hardest times, good can triumph. And you, listening to this story, remember to always believe in your dreams, treat others kindly, and never give up, because good things can happen, even in the toughest moments. If you enjoyed this story, follow our channel for more adventures like this one. Now close your eyes, take a deep breath, and have sweet dreams filled with stars, colorful robes, and happy endings. Good night.